This, for me, is nothing serious. It's more of an engaging session. So you can always cut me anytime I'm talking, maybe to ask questions, or maybe after I finish speaking, then Donald can, take the stage for maybe questions. And the ones I cannot answer, Donald will answer it for me. I'll try my best to, answer all your questions. Okay, so while Donald and his team is trying to bring up the presentation, let me just say some few things in what we do at Conclase Academy. As Ian has rightly said, so because, like I mentioned, we're experienced and we understand the market need. So the courses that we train on, they are in-demand fields. So we're not just training on everything. What we are training on are opportunities that are in high demand, fields that are in high demand, and not just something temporary, something that's in the next 30 to 50 years. It's always been high demand. So we train on front-end engineering, back-end engineering, back-end like Node.js, Python, C#. We intend to add a few others, but we're just taking it, gradually. We train on the software quality assurance. We train on product design, which is UI UX. And in product design, we don't just take you on the UI. We also do UX, user research, and user experience. We also train on DevOps. You have experiences using Microsoft Azure, AWS, GCP. In short, you just be like an all-rounded DevOps engineer. You have access to do anything on infrastructure. So when you come, maybe they bring in something local for you to manage in the cloud, you can be able to manage it. But of course, the big three, which is AWS, Azure, and GCP, will familiarize you with those environments. We also train on, product management. So what we do is we have our training can duplicate teams for any project. And as Ian said, the project they worked on was a complete team. So like I said, it was very, very structured. We're intentional about what we do. So product design, of course, helps to manage the product. We have the front end, we have back end, we have product management rather for the product management. We have product design to do the design. We have SQA, that's software testers. We have DevOps that helps to manage the infrastructure. We also have data analytics, right? So you can see that those I mentioned is a complete team. And we'll be improving on it. Now we've added generative AI to what we do. And in this next cohort, we intend to introduce AI and machine learning engineering. So our training are really tailored to what is in demand. And our training, like I mentioned, is to come up with a team. And we do a lot of hands-on projects. So if you have anybody, let's say an organization that needs like a full resource, like a full team, we can deploy immediately. If they need young guys, it's available. If they need intermediate guys, we have them. If they need senior guys, we have them. So this is just giving you the idea of why it's very important that you already have the industry experience, sometime before you even launch a new venture. So at the end of the day, we're trying to have like an end-to-end, let me call it like EdTech and HR tech platform, which we've already achieved through this, provide opportunities for people to get into tech and providing jobs for them. So one of the moves that we've made, answering what Donald said in a way that Andela has tried it, they couldn't continue, they had to switch to another model, maybe matching senior engineers. So now they have left us to a bigger problem. How do we get people to get to a senior level? And this is what we're trying to solve. So they've done their best. Of course, they're a unicorn company. We learn from them, but we were able to learn the mistake that they made, like they couldn't crack. We actually have cracked it. So they train people with no skills, they house them, do all sorts of things. But their plan is to match them as experienced guys to organizations. And that was the flaw. And that was the challenges that they faced, that they had to change their business model, which is fine. We all make mistakes, we all try things. So what we did there, we approached it from a realistic angle. Anybody that just trained for 6 months cannot. We've had few cases that people, got on bigger projects or got on bigger opportunities. But the most realistic thing is to intern with an organization. So what we do is we ensure that when you are done, we'll match you to organizations for internship. To make it easier, we say 3 months to 6 months maximum, because organizations, they don't mind to put you on internship for 2 years because they are saving costs. So we'll put a cap to it. So that's why we won't just leave you after our training and say you bye-bye. No, we'll nurture you, follow you through to succeed. Okay, it's up already. Okay. So we provide internships. From internship, then the ladder, we've gotten a lot of success stories. A couple of our graduates that did internship, they are now working. They are working in big organizations, multiple multinationals and all that. And that's, for me, that's success, and that's what keeps me going. So we took a step further now by incorporating the US. US is the biggest market in the world. US, its potential is times 10 of Africa. The US alone. They have, the market size is 10 times bigger in what we do than Africa. So why did we set up in the US? We are still African focused, but we know that our goal, our vision is to provide global opportunities for Africans. And to do that is to be there. We have a couple of them that we have partnership with, but being there gives us that broader opportunity. As we speak, we'll be launching next month, February 8th, Conclase in the US. And we're not just doing this for ourselves, we're doing it for everybody here. We're doing it for the African continent. We want a situation where you don't need to japa, as they call it in Nigeria. I don't know what they call it here, meaning that you leave Uganda and you just go to the US because you want to earn in USD or go to Europe. We want you to stay at home, be in Africa, and earn in USD or earn in pound sterling. That is the goal, and we'll get there. And we are very, very ambitious and dedicated to doing that. So I think it's up now. So talking about the topic, it's a very interesting topic, and I've said, let me say, like 80% of it already is about techs and jobs in Africa, or lucky opportunities for Africans. What role do we play? What role do people like Donald play? What role does Conclase Academy play? What role does everybody play here? It's a collective thing. So it's a collective thing, and we have to do it together. So the current job landscape in Africa, there are over 11 million youths that enter the job market annually. And we have just 3.7 or thereabouts jobs that are available. Africa, currently, we are like 1.5 billion in Africa. I think by 2050, we'll be like over 2.5 billion. But the interesting part is 60% of this 1.5 billion are youths. 60% are youths, based on statistics and Statista. There's like a research institute that gives close to accurate figures. So what that means is Africa has that opportunity to take on the world. If you have 60% of you that are youth in Africa, then it means that we have a big opportunity. And Nigeria cannot do this alone. Ugandans cannot do this alone. We need to come together to be able to, help the continent. And let's grow the continent together. Right. So other challenges that we have, like I mentioned, is the skills mismatch. I said one of the things that made the idea of Conclase Academy is we observe that people understand how to code. Like, we're very smart people in Africa, to be honest, very smart people. I'm sure you know that we dominate anywhere we go. In the US, most of the brilliant minds there are Africans, right? So, but there's a mismatch. People mismatch between what you learn and what is required of you on the job. And we saw that opportunity, and we're trying to see ways that we can be able to improve on it. And of course, employment rate is very, very high. So how do we ensure that we contribute to this, to reduce underemployment and get opportunities for people? So talking about African digital revolution, of course, we have Momo. When I got in, I was very impressed. Like, I just got mobile money like in 10 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And that's the beauty of mobile penetration. I can be able to send money instantly. I can do so many things on the go. So we'll be able to improve on that in terms of mobile penetration. We'll be able to improve on internet so as well. We have 5G, everything works fine. So these are opportunities, are things that we've evolved to. There's also digital transformation. You can see the rise of different startups, and we're very, very bullish about it. There's Safe Border, there is Flutterwave, there is Paystack. There's so many of them, that they are doing well. There's also Money Points. I don't know if Money Points is in Uganda. They just attained the unicorn status. Unicorn means like they are now worth over $1 billion. So I think as Africans, we should be proud of ourselves, but there's still a lot of things that we need to still do. And of course, there are a lot of emerging fields now that are coming up. Generative AI. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of things around DeepSeek and all that. So things are happening. It shouldn't be just China alone, US competing. We also need to compete. We're also competing. We're trying our best, but we can do better. So what are the opportunities in the tech sector? So we have the high demand of tech talent. So high demand of tech talent, this is a global thing. There's a huge demand. And there's some barriers here and there. I mean, some geographical barriers here and there. But what we are doing now is we're trying to position ourselves to break that barrier, where a Ugandan, like I mentioned, can be able to work from home and any USD or any euro or pound sterling. That is the goal. So there are opportunities. That opportunity is not a problem. There are actual opportunities, but how do you get those opportunities? Those are the things that we're talking about. Learning the right skills, not just the right skills that is in demand, learning it properly, understanding it, pushing yourself to as well, and the sky is the beginning for you. Of course, global opportunities. There are a couple of global opportunities now. We're trying to position ourselves to get you guys these opportunities. There are also a couple of them. There's Upwork. I'm sure all of you know Upwork here. Can explore those opportunities. They are real. And you can earn in USD too as well. There is Fiverr. There's so many of there, a couple of them. And there's one that we're also coming up with soon. It's called Devs to Firm. And our students will build it, not our experienced guys. And that will be like the next project for Court 7. They will build that platform and they will manage it. So Devs to Firm, matching tech talent, and also providing global opportunities. So of course, too fast. So you have innovation hubs, a couple of them. One of it is where we are right now. These are things that helps, opportunities to network, opportunities to learn what is trending, and so many other things. And entrepreneurship too as well. A couple of startups. There's a lower barrier into entry to startups. It's very difficult abroad. I won't lie. We went through a lot to incorporate Conclase in the US. But here, it was so easy for me, of course, through the help of Donald, Agnes, to incorporate Conclase. But in the US, you go through a lot. So we have a low barrier, a barrier to entry to set up your dream, to start your dream. So why are we not taking up those opportunities? So these opportunities present to us in Africa. So bridging the gap, we have challenges and we have solutions. What are the solutions to these challenges? Solution is, affordable and localized training programs like Conclase Academy. I want to believe there are a few more others in Uganda. And of course, there are a couple in Africa. But the thing is, like I mentioned, we are very intentional about what we do. We understand why we are doing it. We are not doing it just for the money alone. We have a big demand. We have a need to empower millions of Africans and provide them global opportunities, right? So we made it so affordable, as Ian said, provided flexible payment options. Even sometimes we won't waive off tuition fees. We are not making a lot of money yet because our vision needs to be achieved, right? But I know over time, people like Donald will give us money to, help us to scale better. Then maybe we'll start making some money. So, but we're doing a lot and we intend to do more, right? Providing affordable, rich content, the right trainings to get global opportunities. And of course, partnerships too is very, very key, to fund tech education initiatives. We need partnerships. We need to partner with startups and large organizations here. I'm here for a few weeks because I want things to work. I want to meet with every startup possible. I want to meet with large enterprises too as well to tell them the vision we have for Uganda and of course in Africa. I'm hoping after this session, I'll be able to meet with a couple of you. I have graduates that I want them to get internship today. Even though we have a few opportunities for them in Nigeria, but I'll prefer them to even do some kind of hybrid. This remote thing, I'm a big fan of remote, but I think hybrid is a bit better. They'll be able to learn how to work with teams and all that physical. There's this physical touch, and it would be nice if they can be able to learn here, at least the internship, so it will be easier for them to launch opportunities, get their opportunities globally. So please, guys, kids, if you have startups, can give them something at least for transport. And if it's remote too as well, maybe data allowance. I want them to get opportunities today, please. Then, of course, integrating soft skills. I mentioned soft skills is very key. Those are the gaps that we spotted in a couple of talents that will match organizations. And trust me, for us to be ready for the global opportunities, you need to have both technical skills and soft skills. It's very, very critical. So, and these are the things that we've incorporated in what we do. We teach on design thinking. It's part of the package, design thinking, employable skills training. You know how to communicate, you know how to work as a team, ethics, even how to write your resumes, how to attend interviews. These are things that are very difficult, especially even a global opportunity. You want to see how you talk, you want to see your confidence. These days, it doesn't matter your accent. You can talk anyhow, but they'll be able to pick few things and say, yeah, this person is well-grounded. So these are the things that we've incorporated in what we do. So the role of companies in driving change. I mentioned partnership is very key. We want to partner with all of you and let's build Uganda and Africa together. We can't do it alone. It's a collaborative thing. Offering internships, I mentioned, is very key. Apprenticeships is very big in the US. We intend to bring it to Africa. So I'll explain a bit about how it works in the US. So the way it works is the government, some states, so we're incorporated in Colorado. So Colorado State provided an opportunity for apprenticeship. So what they do is, let's say, let me use a company. Let's say, okay, Safe Border, for example, it's in the US. So Conclase Academy is in the US. So what we'll do is I'll meet to Safe Border, look, we have Iron. Iron is a full stack developer. No, sorry, no, not. Iron has no skills in tech, but he wants to learn full stack, or he wants to learn machine learning engineering. So, and I know you guys do a lot of machine learning, AI things and all that. The government, we're a partner to the government. The government says if you can take them as apprenticeship, they will learn on the job while we train them for 6 months. Then they can be with you for 1 year. Then after then, you can decide to hire them or whatever you want to do with them. In exchange, the government is giving you a reduction in your taxes. People are like, oh, this is nice, no problem. They will interview him, they will say that he's smart enough. Okay, let's get started. So from day one, he joins Safe Border, let's say US, and we start training him. Or they join the academy and that's it. So when he's done, he gets certificates and he has a job. What is most important, he has a job from day one. That is how apprenticeship is run in the tech space in the US. We're looking at those kind of opportunities too in there. But how can we achieve this? We need those kind of incentives. We can't manufacture incentives, government incentives. We need to partner with the government or any institution that knows the government or whatever to give these opportunities. These are ways that we can be able to provide opportunities for people. They already have a job and they're also learning on the job. There's nothing that beats that. So that's the apprenticeship side in what I talked about. These are things that we intend to do to see how the government can work with us so we can be able to build, and in exchange, it helps the economy to grow. So there's sponsorships. We need those that want to sponsor these brilliant Ugandans. We know how to spot the best of them. We don't just take them on board. So what happens, we do screening, like thorough screening. Ian can attest to that. We won't just tell you because you have money, come, we'll screen you, we'll say that you are fit to get the trainings and you can understand, can go through that rigorous, intensive training and can be like an ambassador and be beneficial to yourself. So we get this best of them and we need companies to sponsor, a few of them. Maybe sponsor even females, maybe sponsor males, sponsor those that don't have money. We have a lot of them that they don't have money and they want to learn. And trust me, we've had a lot of stories. Those that right now, they are fending for their family, they are doing great, they've even married and all that. So these are ways that we can grow and can build talents and build the Ugandan economy. So success story, of course, a couple of success stories. We have a couple of African startups that are already unicorn. We have one that is about to get on New York Stock Exchange, with Flutterwave. I think Flutterwave is in Uganda as well. So we have Paystack, we have Andela to the unicorn, and that is doing something very similar to what we do, but I believe that we would do better. I know it's nice to be competitive, right? And but for me, it's bigger than just competition. I want to build it. I want to be a part of those that will grow the African economy and build talents and help people to get jobs. Next slide. So the economic impact of tech jobs, of course, there are numerous economic impacts. You guys are all aware. Tech jobs is what you earn is way bigger than majority of other industries as it is right now. Before in Nigeria, I don't know about Uganda, if you are working in an oil and gas firm, you are like the biggest boy. But things have changed now. Nobody's even talking about oil and gas anymore. That was one of my dreams to then. I want to work in the oil and gas sector, but right now, tech has taken over. And trust me, it's not a short time. It's a long time. Trust me, it's something that is very long. And landing a tech job, you earn 2 times 3 of every other kind of job that you can earn. So you're in the right space. Tell your sisters, your cousins. So it hasn't gone past even getting a job. As a human now, we're in a global age, we're in a digital age now, you need to even have skills, tech skills. Learn AI, learn anything, and so you can function. You can't do anything without even understanding this thing. So it's not just you getting a job or saying, because I want to learn tech so I can make 10 million Ugandan shillings. No, it's way more than that now. As a human, you need to be tech aware. You need to have tech skills, right? So, of course, I'm a big fan of reduction in brain drain. Like I mentioned, they call it Japa in my country. I don't know what they call it in Uganda. So what they call it in Uganda? Japa means like those that, emigrate to developed countries, to earn a better living. So, but they call it Japa in my country. I know it happens here a lot, and it's an African thing, right? But most people, they actually love it here. That's the truth. They love it here. But how can they retain here? It's because of opportunities. Aside from, let's say, insecurity and a few other things that is synonymous to Africa, if we can get them opportunities here, trust me, insecurity will reduce. Trust me, it's automatic. We can get them opportunities. Get people off the streets. Sponsor them to learn in Conclase Academy or this thing. Get them jobs. If they can get it, trust me, crime will reduce. The economy will strive, right? So, because I'm a big fan of staying at home, stay in Africa, stay in your home, build your family. You earn well, you live in palaces and all that. It's happening now and is a reality, right? So it will help to reduce that and contribute to the economy. It's big. There's big opportunities. As you can see, is projected to reach 7, even more. I believe it will get to 1 trillion, like in 2050. So there's a big opportunity in the tech sector, big opportunities to help the GDP of the African continent. So what's the way forward? We have to invest in affordable tech education platforms. Like we've already done our own part. We still need your help to make it more affordable. We need sponsorships. We have to sponsor Ugandans to learn tech. And it also will help businesses, startups. One of the challenges of startups is they can't afford to hire a tech talent. It's the truth. They can't afford it. Because a tech talent will tell you that, I need so amount every month. Then also another challenge again is most of them, even if they can afford, those tech talents, they like to do like multiple jobs because what you are giving them cannot really do anything. So the solution to this is you have to be able to invest in educational platform like us to build talents and let them help, let them support your dreams. You can't do it alone, right? Some of a story that I will share with, I think Ian too has heard it maybe today or the last meeting conversation that we had. Those that train from us, some of them, they are now tutors, right? Those that train from us, some of them, they are working in Conclase because we build internal products and all that, right? And because we've been bootstrapping, we don't want to look into funding now because we want to scale well in Uganda and all that, since Donald has not given us money yet. But how do we do this? We can't afford the senior guys like everybody. So we need to mix it. And it has been working perfectly. Trust me, a junior resource, a junior developer can do wonders than even a senior guys. A lot of them, like this is me telling you from my own experience. All you need is a few senior guys, and majority of these senior guys, they are hungry, they can do things, they can go, they have even more initiatives. So the idea is, invest in education platform like us. Just say, I want to, invest in like 20 Ugandans or 10 Ugandans in these areas, these fields that I built my platform on. Maybe Node.js, maybe PHP Laravel, anything. And they will do that. And you watch them, you nurture them, you follow their progress. And when they are done, they will come to your organizations. We call it off-taker model. And it works. So these are ways that we can help to grow talent in Uganda. So of course, foster collaboration with government. I mentioned governments can help, to provide opportunities. Like we are doing one at the moment, like you mentioned, our Minister for Communication, Digital Economy. They are training, the vision is to train 3 million tech talents in Nigeria. Sorry, it didn't cut across Africa. But for me, like I said, I don't look at Nigeria, I see Africa as one. Our vision is even bigger than that, and not just training them, providing them with opportunities. So and we can do this through partnership with government. He is the government, and he has the opportunity to do that like in few years. But we need support from the government to be able to achieve this dream, and also NGOs, and also even investors to invest in this. And we are not audio. We won't give you audio results. We give you real results. In a lot of startups now, they just be we've done 1 billion transactions. We won't lie to you. We'll give you the real thing, and you see the impact that you've done through contributing to helping lives. And building robust digital infrastructure. This is very key. Internet access. We need a lot of it to help. So we need people in remote areas too as well, that they can learn tech. I'm sure there are a lot of maybe remote areas in Uganda. How do they learn this thing? They need internet. Still talking about support. A lot of guys, they need laptops. We need companies that can help. You don't give them like flexible payment options. There's so many things that we've seen, and we have so many of them that want to learn. Even in Uganda, they don't have laptops, they don't have internet, they can't afford these things. And trust me, just give them 6 months. After 6 months, they'll start earning. So let's help to build this. We've done our own path, but we need support from everybody. Then encouraging innovation by supporting tech startups and all that is very, very key, for jobs. Start tech startups. We do our own bits in providing you with affordable tech talent, so you can be able to build, big products and compete with the likes of X, that's Twitter, Facebook, and all that. We've been trying that, but we need more of it to help the economy. So I think I've come to the end of my presentation. Like I mentioned, this is something I'm very passionate about, and I'm happy to speak about techs and jobs in Africa. I'm looking forward to your questions. I'm also looking forward to partnering and collaborating with everyone here. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Colleagues, don't move around the mic.
Okay, so questions, right? Okay.
Yeah. Questions, comments, anything. This is an open session. Don't limit yourself. We're still here, so let's pour it one out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pour it one out.
Thank you. I appreciate you shared your experiences and the effort. Of course, mine is mainly supplement. Of course, you realize that Africa is trying to frog leap. Yeah, we are trying to jump like from the 18th century. Yes. When you see the progress that other people have gone through, we want to skip all that. So we must be very careful with our path. you realize that a lot of our researchers are doing applied research. So meaning our approach is a follower rather than a pathfinder. So I think we need to be pathfinders. If you're, for example, training people in tech, we mustn't forget that any software is built on mathematics. But when you do like just a survey to check our coders here, there is probably no one who has done any advanced math course. So it means the algorithms you're working on, the AI you're building, and you're just following what others have done for you, but it's not optimized maybe for your use case. So we need to look at that. The other thing is that we need to learn to match other sectors to tech, because it's like a fruit cannot exist without the soil, the water, and the wind. So for example, you can't have superior AI if you do not have superior hardware. It begins from the material science, then you do hardware, and then you can run your optimized algorithms. There's an interesting use case you can check. There's a company called Spark in Switzerland. They are doing what's called web AI. So basically what they are doing is they are trying to build live neurons, like real cells, and using them to train AI. So the computer is running with a live cell, not silicon or gallium or whatever. So you see, those people, the founders of that company realized they wanted to actually learn molecular biology, but the life was going to be a very steep curve for them. So instead they went and looked for a biologist who had the knowledge, and for them they concentrated on the computer science bit of it. So we need to merge those. I think we can have better results. But I am very happy that actually.
Okay, thank you.
Would you like to take all the questions apart?
No, it's always a question was and I agree with him. So I won't take it 1-1. So I think, but just to support what he said. So I totally agree with him. So there have to be like a synergy. So it's not just about tech. So like I was saying earlier, these are one of the gaps that we saw, and we're trying to improve on it every time. People are just coding, and they don't even, there's so many other components to it. And if you follow what I was saying, I said we had to add some other soft skills. So soft skills is very, very broad. There's so many things in soft skills. So design thinking now, it's everybody in design thinking. If you don't know how to think from design perspective, you just be doing things linearly, and you won't be a fine, let me use the word fine engineer or fine tech resource, right? And research into is very key. I mentioned that we also do a lot of research, UX research. We're trying to even do more things around, R&D in IT. AI is very big on it, but there's so many other things, research that helps you to, learn better. So these are things that make you stay on the job. One challenge we have, aside from getting the job, we might say, okay, it's easy, but how do you even stay on the job? Staying on the job is one thing. Being a global resource is another thing. Being a global resource, when they are interviewing you or when you are discussing with your colleagues, they will say that, oh, this guy is solid. So these are things that he said that, when you have, all these things together, and when you can speak to different things. So you're working in an agri sector. You can speak about the agro process, like maybe let's say the food value chain, and you're a tech guy. They won't let you go. They will just say, come, because you're not just talking about coding and all that. You are talking about coding. We are relating it with what they are doing in the agro sector. So I totally agree with you, and thank you for your contribution.
Okay, I think I'll ask my questions. So there are 3 questions. Yes, but they are everything is answer. So
Don't have to help me.
Okay, so I'm a software developer as well.
Nice.
I'm also like trained boot camps. And I'm curious to know how Conclase is. Okay, so people trained in a couple of boot camps. And I'm curious to know how Conclase is. Okay, so there's a lot of people talk about AI, but they just drop the buzzword AI, right? But no one's talking about how they actually use it. So I'm curious to know how you guys are using AI to educate your students better, like how you're using it as content. I want you to understand that. Then the second question is, tech is a hard thing to teach. And most of the time, even with the experience with running McDonald, doing tech bootcamps, the dropout rate is very high. There was a bootcamp we taught, we had about around 100 students sign up. 80 students made it to the interviews, and only 8 students made it to halfway the bootcamp. Only 4 graduated, and only 1 has a job right now. So it's crazy to see that churn. And it wasn't the quality of facilitators, or it wasn't the quality of the education. I want to understand how you handle the dropout rate. That's 2. The third one is, I do not know if you are accredited, if your courses are accredited. If they are, how did you go about getting accreditation for your courses? Thank you.
And you forced me to leak some secrets. No, I will. No problem. I will. No. I'll answer it. No problem. Okay, so the first one is so the AI thing. So like I mentioned, we started with training on generative AI. So there's generative AI. Okay, let's say generative AI engineering. There's AI and machine learning engineering, or let's say AI engineering. They are 2 different things. So we started generative AI. We added that now, and Ian has started that. We just started like 2 weeks ago for this new cohort. So we did that for a couple of things. 2 critical things. The first one is there's a demand for it. We have a demand for it, waiting. That's one. Then number 2, generative AI is like the in thing now, and for a long time. I'm sure most of you have Meta AI on your WhatsApp. You use ChatGPT. Most things that you do now, you guys are so reliant on AI and ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, the technology behind ChatGPT, like the generic word for it, is called generative AI, right? So we chose to start it now, 1, because of the opportunity that we have, and number 2, we see that this is something that is in demand, and we want a situation where every student can be able to be the next owner of DeepSeek or be the next owner of ChatGPT, can be able to build their own LLM, their own ChatGPTs and all that. So it's from the opportunity perspective, and also following the trend, what is in demand. And I think by default, it's something that we see value in it. So that's why we chose to start with generative AI. However, for AI and machine learning engineering, the vision for us is to, when we incorporate that to the training, we've seen the trend of people trying to shift from, let me say, the legacy software technologies to building things with AI. That's not scaring those that are software engineers here, but people are still drifting, trying to reduce the reliance of software developers, sort of, because they see like with AI, they can be able to do things faster, they can maybe work better, and speed is very, very important now. So we're also looking into that, which we want to incorporate in the next cohort. But what I can talk more for now is what we started already, which is generative AI. That's to answer your first question. The second one is, remind me, because I can write the third one. The dropout rate. That's third or second?
It's the second.
Okay, dropout rate. Oh, how we're able to manage dropout rate. Okay, so it was very funny when you mentioned there's 100 sign-ups, 80 got interviewed, maybe 10 passed, 4 graduated, and 1 got a job. Okay. So it's very funny. Okay, so yes, that's a very interesting one. And so what I would say is this. What has helped us is, like I mentioned, we came from understanding why we even started, let me use your words, boot camp in the first place. We understand the market need. We understand what to train these guys to get on a job. Okay, I'll come back to the training, how we're able to ensure our training is impactful and all that. So I'll come back to, let's say, try to get the students, trying to do this and all that. So we get a couple of sign-ups, thousands of them. We, like I said, we screen them because we collect money. I'm sure yours is free, right? Or is it free?
No.
Oh, it's not free. Okay, we're in the same shoes. So, okay, so yeah, we collect money, but we made it very flexible. Like Ian said, we made it very flexible. Pay at your convenience. That's like one of the tricks you're able to crack. That's one. Secondly, we provide we call it startup programs. You know, we try to make you feel like you're a part of something big. So it's a psychological thing. We give you some materials to even start learning before even paying anything. And you're already seeing, oh, this is where I will be in the next 6 months. So that has also helped our entry rates. And we'll let you say, look, don't pay us now. Pay at your convenience, like maybe end of the month and all that. So that too has also helped us too as well. We don't collect money instantly. We let you pay at the end of the month when maybe when they pay your salaries and all that. And it's quite a task, but it has helped us to have a high rate of signees or students. Now, during the training, why have we been able to manage like a reduced dropout? From day one, we started giving them that vibe that, oh, this is something big. Made them see the value of what they are getting into. They already see we key them into the vision, we key them into what would help them. And the training is tailored that way. They feel like this is like a movement. Like I said, we add a couple of soft skills trainings to as well, which they love a lot. You know, they do a lot of practical trainings, individual trainings, group trainings. So that's that feel. And also our classes are also very flexible. Our classes are actually hands-on. It's actually very intensive, but also flexible. Like, you know, we don't really obstruct their work. We train at very convenient time. The tutors are very helpful, as Ian has said earlier. So we put a lot of effort. Catherine is here, can attest to it. She does a lot of work. She's our representative in Uganda. And we follow them through. We will go as far as even asking them their personal lives, like, are you fine? What's going on? And all that. We record our classes. So these are, like I said, these are some secrets to part of, let's say, how we've been able to, you know, build what we are doing. And we've, in a way, you know, we have dropouts here and there, but trust me, most of their reasons, it's they don't have money. And maybe very few of them will say, oh, it's very intensive, I've got busier and all that. But I can't remember anyone saying that their training is not going well. Have not. And this is not me just, you know, selling us and all that, but it's just the truth. So when you are doing it from a passion point of view, the passion comes from me, myself, and it cascades to others. there's this feel that they have, and we pass it on to the students, and it makes them, stay on the training, and they end up the program with us. Then after then, we ensure that they get opportunities. The opportunity is more of internship. Like I mentioned, these are things that most organizations don't know. Promising them jobs or getting jobs is not a realistic thing. It's not even good for them. We have a few of them that they were lucky. They were so good that they got big jobs. But what we do is get them internships, and we hear a lot of success stories, even from the employer side, that, oh, these guys, I'm not leaving them. And we've been able to solve the problem, and we intend to do more. So that's answer to your second question. The last question.
The last question was about accreditation.
Yes, so accreditation. So we're accredited to ELQN. The accreditation is a global accreditation for everything we do, our courses, everything. So any graduate that we have can work anywhere in the world. It's ELQN, and we have a couple that it's almost in process. So we're trying to do this to just look anyway. We started with the global one because we're going global, and also we have a couple of local ones that we do. And another thing that we are working on now, which we're about to close, is partnership with popular OEMs like AWS. We're also about to close with Microsoft too as well. We're also working on Google too as well. So why are we doing all this? From this cohort, we intend to make the students to have at least one global certification before they complete their program. So these are the strategies to keep people on, right? So because we are preparing them for the global opportunities, what can really help is for them to have a global certificate, even though what we provide is global, but it will be easier when they see, oh, Microsoft, oh, wow, okay, let's get you in. So these are part of the strategies that we do to help, the students to get, global opportunities. So I hope I've answered your questions.
Thank you.
Okay. Mine is.
Why you asking me questions this one?
Was I excluded? Not ask question. Okay. My question is connected to sheep.
Okay.
Take in the Ugandan context. I think in Africa, apart from Nigeria, Kenya, and I think a bit of Botswana, maybe South Africa. The rest of the countries, we are not only in the 18th century, probably in the 16th century. I'm coming. Now, especially in the Ugandan context, how do we engage our leaders, the government? Because, like you say, there are some things you're not able to do if the government is not that involved, or it's not that passionate, or probably that supportive. Now, from the Ugandan context, we are very, very, very far. And why am I saying that? I tried to create a PayPal account to have one, but till now I failed. Why? My identification documents provided by the country are not recognized internationally. Like my ID, they don't ask the passport; they want the ID. It is still valid; it hasn't expired, but they don't know it. So I don't know how we've done it in Nigeria, whereby we have our leaders passionate about tech, because they are lagging behind. At times you want to do just a simple transaction, and you can't do it. You have to do it with someone who is in another country that whose probably technology has advanced and actually allows certain things. So how do we engage our leaders? How do we engage the government to appreciate some of these things? Actually, not only appreciate, know that actually, in a few years from now, this is going to be the thing. So I don't know how we've done it in Nigeria, but I wish you can also advise us so that we also move at the same pace. Thank you.
Oh, I love your question. It's a very big one. So I would say this problem is a big one in Africa, not just in Uganda, also in Nigeria in a way. We have, the problem is a very complex one, very, very complex, and it's really sad. But if we keep saying nothing can happen, nothing will happen. And I flew all the way from Lagos here because I want to share my passion. I want to share the need for us to build Africa. It's very, very possible. And where do we start from? We start from ourselves. We're able to achieve that a little in Nigeria by finding all ways to put our own as a minister for digital economy, which is Bosun, a young guy, and he owns a tech hub like this. It's called CC Hub. And he had to take on that. We had to push him to be a part of this. You know, being in politics is a gangster thing. I'm sure you know. I think it's something like that to you. I don't know, but it's not. People, startups, entrepreneurs run away from it. But I'm not also a fan of politics, but I don't mind someone like Donald to be in politics in Uganda. I'm saying Donald there, of course, other people are there, but I know Donald. Someone like Donald can be able to drive the digital economy, and with someone like Donald pushing him, supporting him to be there, trust me, these are the first steps to achieving, these things that we're talking about. But before even going through all that, how do we help ourselves to be able to have platforms like PayPal, which is makes it easier to maybe do global payments and all that? Is we've said it all here today. We have a lower barrier to entry. So we have challenges, I also have opportunities. So I look more on the positive side. So we need to support entrepreneurs. We need to support boot camps. Boot camps means, academies like ours and every other. So why do I say that? There are two sets of people that comes out from these boot camps. Those that want to follow a career path, and there are also entrepreneurs. This is the part that I didn't really talk about. There are those that want to build a business. There are so many of them. I'm sure Ayanto is one of them. He wants to build a product, he wants to build a startup. Ayan can, given the right opportunities, given the right investment, the right backing, he can build the next PayPal. And we have a few of them now. Maybe you need to explore them. We have a couple of them now, few of them that can do those things that you want to do in PayPal. And I'll advise you to, look more into patronizing, African products. There's so many of them that can do that. Paystack can do some things, I believe. Lemfi, there are a couple of them that they are close to it. Paystack especially, I think there may be some limitations. Maybe you want to get money, maybe have any USD or something and receive payment there. There are a few platforms that do that. I'm not sure of Paystack. I think Lemfi, a few of them I can check, that can do that. But, we have to do that. And I'm sure if we take on these opportunities, we can do that. So let's, patronize these local African products. And let's also support startups, support individuals, especially that can be able to build the next PayPal. And we'll be less reliant on Africa, on foreign products. That's the first step. Second step is to, find ways to, reach out to the government, find ways to get some of these guys that are very tech those that want to, that have this tech experience, those that have the mind to support the youth to get on politics, to be in that places, push them, let them, become leaders, and that can be able to drive the Ugandan like economy, the Uganda tech ecosystem. And with that, you can be able to, come up with policies, support policies that will help all of us here to build the dream that we want to build. So I think, like I mentioned, starting from us, let's, find ways to support African products. Let's find ways to support, educational institutions, tech, like Conclase Academy, like a couple of them that are available. Let's build Ugandan talent. There are so many of them. We have a large population here too as well. Let's build them. Let's trust them. And trust me, some of these guys are the ones that will solve our problems ourselves. And I believe that if we have this mindset, we'll get there by God's grace.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so if you have not registered, the list is only passing around, so you can register. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, you can also stand at your phone. So the inside from here is Keys gives us.
Okay. Well, thank you. Everyone, my name is Hussein Keys. Software engineer and a few other things. First of all, I like how you shared your story. At some point, it's correlated with mine. I like that. And then I have one question, but like the first throw up, like just to relax. The first one is about what you talked about. Someone talked about us, Africa, being followers. I think that has some advantage. Because we are followers, we can know what not to repeat. We can know which mistakes we have done, and we don't repeat those. For example, we don't have enough capacity to get good hardware for, let's say, AI. But the recent trend like R1, DeepSeek, they've just proved you don't need actual a lot of hardware to run models. And that trend will not continue. So being followers, we can use it as an advantage to ask ourselves, okay, if China was in our position, what did they do? Yeah? That's all I can say. I'll leave that there. Then about Ian and all graduates, well, the short answer I can tell you is the only reason any company will hire you is if you bring in some value. We can take tours around that, but the final thing is that. So you have to ask yourself, okay, why would I hire myself? Which value am I going to bring? You can even just walk in any company randomly and you tell them, hey, I'm here. I know you're not hiring, but me, I'm here. I can help you with ABC. And you don't know what you can get from that. Yeah? So try to create value. For example, that project you're talking about, I won't give you too much details, but I happen to work with some Canadian company, and they are doing almost the same thing. AI analyzes resume, and it's a company. So if they are doing that as a company, you can do it. Companies do usual things just in some way that scale it up. Yeah, but create value. Look at creating value. Me myself, the only reason why I've learned all I've learned and why I learned code is to build things I love, and that's what I've been doing, and I still do that. And guess what? When I do that, eventually I'm creating also value in myself. Yes, there are times when things were hard. That is going to bring me to the question to the gentleman. At first, I thought it is about skills. So I tried to skill myself. But then I was like, now where are the jobs? Yeah? You will be there, and yes, you know your code, but you are starving, you're deep in the village. So until I figured it out, there is no savior. There is no savior. The government you're waiting for, the push you're waiting for, there's no savior. What you start with is ask yourself, what value can you create? For example, me back in the days, I went in the town center, approached a guy, he was a librarian, and I told him, I can actually build a system where you manage your series, which series done and all that. Basically, I stopped looking for someone to bring me a job. Right now, I just build things and opportunities come for me. I don't go for them, to tell you. So make sure you build value. And me right now, if I'm to interview a developer, for starters, I just tell you, show me your GitHub. That's all. I don't ask you what. Show me the code. Show me what you've built. Okay. Now, bringing me to the question about actually government and everything. I think the good thing is there is some awakening coming. Awareness is around. Things like Flag right now, Founders Lounge. There are a lot of rising bodies. For example, there is FETU, there is ProSe that are trying to come up to stand for engineers and entrepreneurs and all that. Some are part of them. You too can be part of them. We are only part of them to see that actually the problem gets solved. So don't wait for anyone. If you can be a pillar in the transition, start. Yeah, if you can build the next Google, do. Don't wait for some African to do it. You do. Yeah. Now bringing me to the question to our guest is, it is no longer a question of whether one can gain tech skills. In my perspective, a lot of developers actually have some skills on the ground. And it is very easy. I'm very happy that now it is very easy for someone to learn, apply somewhere online, and they actually learn and graduate. That made me so happy. Now, the thing is, where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? What is your long-term kind of strategy to make sure these people you upskill, they actually get jobs? Some companies are not willing so much to give internships and all that. You need to have a long-term strategy. What is your plan on that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nice contribution. I really appreciate what you said, and I also learned some things too from what you said. So that's a big question. How the jobs, that's the biggest question. And the first solution is the internship side, which we all agree on. That's the first step. The second step is the apprenticeship, which is like the next strategy for us. The third step, I don't know if you've come there, I explained the apprenticeship. It's done in the US, so we're trying to replicate same. Apprenticeship is, to me, is like in a way, it's closely automatic in already landing a job. The internship too as well is very strategic in a way that we usually, in most cases, we get a job. So the work starts from the training. Like I said, our training is very intentional, very, very intentional, because for us, the goal is that jobs that you mentioned. So internship, apprenticeship, and the third one is we're trying to create something. So what we are trying to create is, because we are coming from an HR tech perspective, having experience in providing tech talent and all that, we understand that there are some things that every interviewer wants to see, or every hiring manager, or what should be on your resume first. What they really want to see is what have you done? I'm a very realistic person, and we build realistic things. So, what have you done? Oh, I've done this, and this. I'm part of a team that built an AI talent matchmaking platform. I'm part of a team that built an e-commerce platform. I'm part of a team that built this. We can say 3, 4. How do you have the opportunity to build this? Those are things that we are trying to create. So we have a tech studio, which we're very quiet about, but we started this because of this problem you're talking about. So we provide opportunities for startups where we partner with them to build their products in exchange for a little equity. Why are we doing this? I'm not doing this because, of course, I love building products. I enjoy it, from idea phase, and I'm seeing the product in the market. I love it just where I love impacting humans and all that. So, but we did it because of a long-term strategy in this job thing. We want a situation where very soon all our graduates would already have a job waiting for them. So we are creating jobs internally, not relying on safe border or anything. So by then they would have started working on these jobs. They will also even earn, right? So when they build it, their resumes is built, then it will be easier for us to now get them those opportunities where they'll be earning 6 digits and all that. That's the third. I'll stop on fourth because there are more. The fourth one is partnerships. So we're doing a lot of partnerships because of this. Partnerships, we have existing complaints that we service, and they're ready to take them on, right? But partnerships in the sense that partnering with startups, especially startups. So when you partner with startups, there's so many things that you can give them. You can give them resources, and they want junior developers. So there's a term called junior. You can't just climb the ladder. Like I said, I'm a very realistic person, and we do a realistic business. And for me, when we are being realistic, there's longevity. Even though we can cook your resume in a way that someone like Ian, I can actually get him an opportunity, but I prefer not to. I'd rather tell him to do an internship or apprenticeship. But we've had cases that we kind of did it because this person is kind of exceptional, and in a way we feel like person has done a lot of personal build and he has attended a couple of hackathons, a couple of volunteered in a couple of projects, and he now came to the academy to learn it properly. We've had cases like that, a few cases like that, and we're able to present them to organizations which we already serve. We serve a couple of organizations in Nigeria. I'm sure you know Equity Bank. A couple of them, also abroad. So we have them ready, but of course, most of them, they want experienced hands. Few times they'll be like, oh, you know what? Okay, bring in your guys, let's see. But a couple of them were experienced hands. But now, because of the internship part, there's now more acceptance because we said, let them intern, you can let them just help them. No problem. They come in and they give them something, and at the end of the day, they'll be like, oh, this guy can actually do things that most of these guys can do. And they hire them, or they give them good contracts. So I'll stop at that. But like I said, there's no. If we want to be real, we have to be realistic. If we want to build opportunities, we want to build jobs or get jobs for we Africans. And being realistic is these steps. You need to climb the ladder. It's always the best, even though sometimes you can just. For me, tech is very fast now. You can start earning millions in 2 years. It's easy now, but before you even get there, you have to, do some few things like climb the ladder a bit, and the ladder is very fast now. It's very short now as compared to like years ago, where you need to do a lot of work. Just be smart about what you do. Join different, communities, attend conferences, try to connect yourself to professionals. And trust me, it's so easy for you, and you have to do a lot of work. Be passionate about it. When you're passionate about something, you work every day and night to improve yourself in your skills, because everything keeps evolving in the tech space. If you can do that, you'll get opportunities as quick as possible. But from our own end, those are the things, that strategies that we've put in place to ensure that, opportunities are gotten, and not just getting the opportunity, also staying on that opportunity. I hope I've tried to answer your question. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adeposi. I think that is the great name. Thank you so much.
for what you have shared. You have shared a lot of information, a lot of the journey you went through. I think at your age and you resonate with most of us here. And I'm so glad that I have the same, almost not the same background, or I'm doing the same thing, because I have an academy which trains, so I understand what you go through, your worries and all that. And that is from a perspective from a person who needs to do a tech course. I did a mechanical engineering course, but right now I'm in tech. And by 2020, I wasn't in tech. So my first line of code, I wrote it in 2020. So when I'm sharing my story with most people, there is no way. But up to now, I've built more than 16 products, like digital products, that has generated about maybe $10K in the space. So when I'm telling you about the perspective I'm going to give you, also if you, the Ian and all others, tech space is very interesting. First of all, it has a hype. Like, if you just go on the internet, the most hyped concept is tech. So they get everywhere. They take his hype. So quickly, first of all, you will hit YouTube, maybe you try to learn tech. Quickly, you understand that it is not easy to climb that. Maybe you go to Udemy, you try some few courses. Life goes on to be more hard. You might actually drop at that level. If you actually pass the Udemy level, maybe you might survive, but that's not the end. So you go, like for instance, you did React, right? So you do your React. Right now, things which are building like the front end, there are so many. Visual and others like generating the UI. So then you go to someone creating content, then you don't have a job. Like all jobs are taken, like developers are not there. So you are confused. At this point, maybe you have finished maybe 1 year in tech, and then you realize maybe you don't have a job. Actually, you don't have a job. So apart from the hype, you notice that you are not making any money and you are not surviving at all. That is enough to drop out. Your friend is going to come and say, are you still very sure you want to remain this way? So you end up maybe swinging into crypto. There are a lot of spaces people are going to take it. So for us we do crypto mining, there is what is, So first of all, you will suffer in this space, and you're most probably afraid and they have dropped. Many developers are not. So, and that's why I started the academy. Me personally, I didn't go through any school. What I can tell you, one thing, most people, to be able to earn from the tech industry, you really need to have some level you are on. Because most people just say, for instance, I have learned React. So what are you going to, as you say, what is the value you are doing? If you're looking for the jobs, to be sincere, like here in the country, most people are using SaaS price. Who knows Zoho? There are a lot of those free tools, like if you wanted to build a simple system, like Zoho is giving it for free. You may hear there are many founders, startup, the founders, but who any of these ones is employing a tech guy? This is my tech guy and he's working on this. Everyone maybe is using behind the scenes, using Google Slides, using Zoho, is trying to survive not using any developer. So as a developer, how are you going to survive? Because you're most likely just a real job. So but the technique is one. So me when I just entered into the space, I noticed first of all, our economy, to be sincere, if we wanted to become a developer and then you build a website or you build a web application, you are going to find it rough. As you have said, just as any of these people here, you need an app, it's just maybe put them into an idea. I can build this financial app and what? It's I have 100K. 100K. Do you know what you're talking about? Someone wants you to build I want Facebook, or I want to build something like Instagram, but I want to give you 200K. Is that okay with you? It is UTX.
What cars?
Hey, we are talking about UTX. The person you're talking with this way. Do you think we are building Microsoft Word or what? You realize we are building a very complicated application. But the person is that's the money you can raise. You are so expensive. And then they move to the next person. So you realize if your thinking is you're building maybe for here, first of all, what I notice is one. China, India, Pakistan, they are all actually tapping into the economy in the US and even other European countries. Why the economy is so high and they want to dump and get like cheap labor. You get the point? Because for they are there, they can't want to get like a person like you. Maybe you can just like work maybe at a rate of like maybe per week, maybe $200. That is something cheap for them, right? So now that is one thing you can just give a perspective. What you should focus on. The second thing is you really need to build things. As you said, you can have a lot of issues why you're not going to succeed. Like when I came into the tech industry, I found a lot of developers complaining. Like everyone was complaining. Like their jobs for giving, simple, like they give no money. That was the complaints in the space. But me, when I entered in the space, one thing I just focused on building. Like how much, for instance, I sell my products are ranging maybe $30, depending on the application, $30 or $100. I think the expensive one is like $150 or $250. I don't mind. But then if I build 16 and each is, for instance, $100, I will just make like some sale. In any way, I'll just like make one sale, two sales, doesn't matter. But I have a lot of products I'm selling. So for instance, you're just going to talk here, like, I'm a developer, how many products do you have? Like, how many softwares have you built? Because even if you got the chance to get a job, the applications are coming. Like, by the way, eventually when you reach at a space in the developer space, the jobs are there. Like some level in the developer space, jobs are there. But I'm telling you, if they give you documentation of the application that is required to build, you yourself say, I can't manage this. It is overwhelming. Someone is like, okay, can we build an application that is maybe automating posting? Even a client told me to build a Canva clone. Like, can you build me an application like Canva? And is willing to give you maybe $300? So you realize this tech space, you need to be somehow, first of all, you need to change your mindset and be open-minded. Then another thing is learning some other things can complement. It is no longer just saying you know how to write some React code. Like it is very easy right now to use ChatGPT and even other tools to write some code, right? But you need to add on some other add-ons. For instance, marketing. Do you know how to sell? Do you have a podcast or do you have a YouTube channel? For instance, I have a YouTube channel. Why I sell most of my products? Like I have a YouTube channel with 10K, at least 10K subscribers. So I build a community out of the 10K, put them outside, and they help me in selling the products or even selling them what? The products. So it is no longer about saying like you're going to write some code and like, you just get that money. No, you need to do more. Do you know how to make content? Do you know how to do video editing? Because at first, you're not going to, if I'm just going to say you something, I need to convince you. You need to know how public speaking, as you said, I was very happy we talk about the lack of soft skills. Like some of the engineers at my place when I'm teaching them, I tell them focus more on soft skills. Because even if you had an application, but you don't know how to explain that application, doesn't make sense. Like for me, I would just come and I explain, like right now when I'm doing a project, people are willing to pay if you explain to them very well how they are going to benefit, how to get and the money. Because I used to do those things of like, I even do an application for you for free. They don't work out. Take 300 or 100. I don't do those projects. And the reason why people have the money, if you convince them, they pay the money. I've seen it at the level I've reached. You not in position maybe to explain the ROI, like the return on what? On investment. Someone can just say, like, this man can be having like some money. He's not going to come and you tell him, I'm just going to build an app. Like, for what? How is it making money for all making sense to me? But if you explain that this can be your big problem and then you explain you package your product very well, you can earn from this. So the people you train on have a different idea or the different take on this. Because the companies, those are the days, companies to hire a lot of what? A lot of engineers. You know, in the tech space part, even disposing what? They are disposing of some of the engineers. And because the landscape is changing, people are having now chat assistants that are bringing in a lot of AI in the space. The engineers or the developers need to look at another take of how to be creative in this space. Now, we have a lot of problems, which is an advantage. I don't know why whenever people see problems, they complain. But every time you hear people complaining, that is an entrepreneurial opportunity. For instance, we don't have all those things, for instance, put in place. I know you are worried. The PayPal, Stripe, Lemon Squeezy, and all those platforms in Uganda, they're not operating. That is to be sincere. And I used to ask Colin, dude, like, how do you get the payments? Because you could get a lot of more dollars coming in, but setting up the payment system is very complicated. But you first imagine, the first person who's going to put up that system in Uganda is going to be a billionaire. So your focus rate belief, that is a problem. It can be a problem you can be part of solving, but then you're not going to be part of solving if you are not so good. For instance, if they say they're looking for someone to build a platform, would you build it? Or be part of the engineers to build it? No. Some of the engineers I find I've just interacted with, they have just like, built some little stuff, like they have built something like, what have you built yourself? I've built. People have problems. Someone can bring an app and money is there, but you can't comprehend the problem. You can call it like, okay, I want to build a system that can do ABC, but I need a person to build it. Have you even built something even similar? Or like people are saying about AI, I have heard a lot of people talking about AI. But when I ask developers, they show me 2 applications that has implemented AI. And he's also using ChatGPT like others. He's also just like writing code or chat searching. That is not an engineer. I most find that people just calling them DevOps engineers, AI engineers. But behind the scenes, they just like writing, copying, forking. They're not just like building things. You get it? But someone like you saw Felix Chitaka. I was impressed when he built something. I like people who build something and they can show something little. They have contributed to the space. In regard to that, actually, that very day, I also built in Uganda. I said, I can't accept the challenge. The only thing I think is to get the ground and you do some real work. If you wanted to say a process AI, did you know like most people are talking about AI, but when you go to them and you ask them how they're implementing AI in their systems, like they don't have. Like you say, AI is what is everything. Like, okay, how are you using AI? The guy just using ChatGPT also searching, and that's it. DeepSeek came in. Everyone is talking about it, but have you checked out the API? For instance, have you used LangChain to see how it works with DeepSeek? And then you implement an application that you can now come and convince him. It's like, okay, you have a loan. I can make your launch 10 times productive than it is right now. And I just want you to test the product and it is for free. And then you can build it. You have brought him value. And if you can just like focus on building rather than just like looking for the jobs. People are looking for jobs, but the jobs are very tough. Even if you found it existing. Really tough sometimes. Like really tough. So like your hopes, he's doing a great job and very sure. Also training is very hard. Training is very hard. The rate of dropouts in tech, they are the highest in history. I'm very sure like 90% of you must have tried at some point in time. Like it crossed your mind. And then you went on YouTube. And then you searched. Quickly enough, you're like, I think I can try some other things. Yeah, you just look left, you look right, like no one is not seeing it. You move on. Because the tech is a kind of it's so high. But the entry to tech is so tight. He knows how aggressive I am on my team. Like my team will code, I know I tell them, code about 16 hours a day. 16 hours. So that if I'm going to compete, me I'm not competing with Ugandans. Hey. I know. How would I compete with someone who's working 4 hours? I would be setting myself to fail. You just go on my YouTube channel. My videos, some of them are 8 hours, and I just do the product in 8 hours from like 3 a.m. up to 2. Coding non-stop, and I do the product live, seeing, and all who are watching, I'm teaching them because my teaching style is very different from others. I don't teach like you come here, then these are variables, then no, I don't do that. I say there is a problem. Someone wants a point of sale system. So today we are building the point of sale and we should give it to the client, right? So I build it and I finish it there. Maybe it's a series, you're going to see my series, 40 episodes or even one. But I'm trying to mimic the actual software building because this is not easy and there are a lot of things to go on that. But the advantage is, as I told you, sprinkle in terms of marketing. Do you know a bit of marketing? That if you got a following, you can get some earning for that following and all that. Like if I just came here for talking to the developers, I would experience the whole day. But what I can say is, the tech space right now is so tricky that you need, as you said, is doing the right thing, partnering with big companies in US. I think that is a really big one because, as I've said, if you partner there, they're trying to dispose get a low-level engineers who can do at a cheaper cost, and you can be one of them. But they want quality, which most of the developers here is number one problem. Someone is hyping, you find him on the forum talking a lot, they have become tech talkers. You find that people just like on the, you rarely see me. I'm very rare because 90% of them are building. Like my team, why we just work like this at work is because they see the energy I put in. So by the time you wake up in the morning, I've already coded maybe about 8 hours. So I code, I come and I teach, and then I have to do client work. You get the point? Yes. So like, don't just say they're going to compete with people who are in use. Do you know what is happening in Silicon Valley? Like a person who brings out a product, even if you look at it, you ask yourself, how did he build it? But you're not wondering about that. Like you should wonder, if you look at the product you're using, if someone is having Zoho, can you think of like how they build a Zoho of Uganda format? And you work on that and you dedicate yourself. But if you don't dedicate, he's complaining, he's coding 2 hours a day and he's complaining most of the times. He's talking about Rust, Java, what. Like even if you run Java, it doesn't matter. Like they can't ask which language do you use to build this? No. People are bringing now no code platforms. You can build the API without anything like code. So what you should focus on is getting yourself in the space of building something, first of all, build and be on the ground. Like really big group. So when they are talking about the developers, you know what they are talking about. When you're just like becoming like you are just an average. The average are going to die. the tech jobs which are going to come. Because with the coming of AI, tech space is becoming nice. Because the average developers are all going to be eliminated, and then thank you so much. I guess I speak a lot, but I'm happy to be part of this community, and I just want to contribute.
We have to talk.
Good morning, everyone. Actually, if you're a startup or a founder, waiting is always demanding. The reason being is we never stop working. We work all day, all night. That's why we save money. Now, my question goes to Bonham. I'm glad you came through. We're black, we're Africans. It's really very hard in Africa to raise funding. It's even harder to raise money in Uganda. Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, Egypt, those guys, you are doing much better than us, but it's really hard to raise money. The biggest reason or challenge is we are not telling African stories. We are not doing this. And it is a duty of any one of us to tell our stories out there. Meanwhile, in South Africa, people didn't know what they're doing. They didn't know any one company in Uganda that is not before. But Nairobi, these guys are telling us Uganda is a very small economy, a small market, and they don't know any big company or any potential startup. because our stories are not being told. Mr. Donald, we talked about the podcast, and we agreed here we will do whatever it takes for that podcast to thrive, because this is us, this is what we're building. Now, I've been part of 4 events today, and most events are part of white community, Indian community, blah, blah, blah. The conversations are different from what we're doing here, completely different. This tells us why we are able to raise funding. First, we think there's no guys. Whenever we travel, these people are not raising small money. Right. These guys are raising big money. You find in Nigeria selling something tiny, but the story behind this something tiny, you might think it's an elephant. When it's a cat, these guys speak, like they know how to tell big stories. As an investor, they want to understand if you invest in that startup, how big can it be? How big is that market? But if you're confined to a Ugandan market, a Kampala market, it doesn't work. We must build this. It took us 1 year to raise money, but we went through hell after we closed that fund. And people were telling us, if you are starting to raise money, you need to start with 20K. It's very hard to start with 50K. Start with 20K, then you can go to 50K, then 100, then you can raise. We told them, we can raise $1 million from the first raise. You can do that. Set your things right, set your systems, set your everything right. The investors are there and they have money. But then, the pipeline, I told Donald, investors told us, when they come to Uganda for startups, these guys are selling our business with them. They tell us we have pipeline, but you need to pay this amount of money to access this. It makes no sense. Why don't you then let the investors access these startups, and when they close, you earn some money on part of this, instead of you telling an investor to make a payment for them to access your database. I don't think it makes sense. It doesn't. We had one of the, how do you call it, the Ninja Accelerator or something. That Ninja program was supposed to be run by Donald. For some reason, I think it was explain that. For some reason, he was unable to run the program. These guys took Donald. You know how much money these guys were paid for the Ninja program? It's tons of money. This was your money. And people, let me tell you guys, you cannot keep quiet about that. Someone who goes behind your back, takes all that money. I mean, we must build these things ours. This guy is someone from India. He took all this money. What did he do? Book flights, they fly around like this. We don't need that. We need this money to come in this ecosystem. We build this for us. We need to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, I'm also raising money, so if you have any change, feel free to give me some money. My name is Soro Kaladi, and I work with a company called Technologies. And what we are doing, we make African investment smart, whereby if you're lost, kidnapped, stuck, you just press it for 5 seconds, collect your location, and then send it to people and they coordinate your rescue. So I want to make this conversation a bit expand to take another. I understand many people have been talking about building, and we have people who are building very many things. But my word of caution to you is you need to know, are you building a panel to build someone's product, or you're just building a vitamin and someone can actually live without your application?
So we need to think about that critically. So in my tech innovation, we have had a lot of obstacles. One of them is most around infrastructures. So we are talking about health, we're talking about internet, we are talking about electricity for our tech programs. I wanted to find out from your view in the different ecosystems you've been to. What do you think we as Africans, Uganda, Nigeria, we can actually use as the advantage or unfair advantage those other people in the Western economy have? That is one. Then the second one is, what is your view on job and automation when it comes to the different entrepreneurs in the community? Because we know that devs are actually expensive, and we cannot afford them. So we want to know what is your view when it comes to the tech job and the upcoming rise in automation for almost each and everything when it comes to AI agents. Thank you so much.
Okay. Let me answer let me start with the second question. Okay. So there are two key problems that is synonymous to what we are facing in Africa. The first one is scarcity of, let's just say, jobs, unemployment, underemployment. And the second one is, which is another big one, is for startups to strive. So mentioned that it's very hard, like my boss here mentioned, very hard to get funding in Uganda. In a way, it's hard generally everywhere, especially in Africa. It's just coming up bit by bit, but it's very hard and it's kind of getting harder, but it will get better, and put it that word. So for the jobs part, I already mentioned we need to create opportunities. We need to create, the first thing to get this job issue sorted is still coming back to us in terms of having the right skills, learning properly, learning what is in demand, and training yourself how to get a job, and also train yourself how to retain a job. So there are two different things. So when that is being done, it will be easier for people like us, and platforms that provide opportunities to be able to match you to global organizations. It's very, very critical. So now we've done a lot of work. We've gone to go as far as incorporating in the US. We partner with global organizations. Okay, now the trust is there. They have a system. They need to trust you. It's very hard to get opportunities if you are not a citizen in the US. But there's this opportunity available. If they can trust the company, then automatically they can trust the resources. So these are ways to bridge that gap. However, when the opportunity comes, where are the resources? That's where the problem is. So getting jobs is one thing. Getting the right talent to match the job is another thing. And these are things that we need to build collectively, right? Then also for startups are also facing challenges. There are a lot of people with brilliant ideas, but they can't be able to afford techs. They can't do it themselves. They can't be able to build products that will be smooth. Building a product is one thing. Getting people to support your product is something else. When you start getting users coming into your platform and everything, there's this weight that gets on it. And if you don't have the required support, then your system, your solution start crashing, and the usability is not fluid enough, and your customers start leaving your platform to go to another platform. So how do you ensure that you create fine products? How do you ensure that you maintain quality of your product and get users, to be able to interact with your product seamlessly? Is ways to get the right resources to stay on the job. How do you afford them is where the question is. There's no funding. there are no resources, and startup dies automatically. So the solution to this is we need to invest, and it's more affordable as compared to other things. We need to invest in education programs. Like we are like, the way hospitals are solutions to maybe like sickness and all that. Trust me, the problem we are facing as a continent, the solutions are around us, but we're not trying to explore it. Maybe sometimes we might be looking down on it, we might not be able to, see the importance of it. The affordable devs, if you partner with the right educational tech education platforms, partner with them, invest in them, like I mentioned earlier, and they are very affordable. Invest in them, they will build resources for you, or even take them on internship. You can build things, then instead of you hiring like 10 developers that you're paying a lot of money, you can just hire just leads, maybe like 2 or 3 of them, and have like 10 of them. Trust me, in the next 2 years, at the minimum, you won't have any headache. Your systems will flow, because these guys already can do a lot of things. They just need a little guidance. Most time, little to no guidance to be able to, support your product, be able to iterate, be able to build new features, enhancement and all that. So I've been able to identify this, and these are things that have worked for me for years now. And because, like I said, there's no money anywhere. It's hard to get. Everybody's trying to tap from the little pool available. So you can't say because of you've not gotten funding, you can't do things. Do things, build things. You can build a lot of things. And trust me, when you build things and they can see traction, you will get funding. It's a bit easier to get funding when you have, a bit of traction. Like, you can show evidence. But before that, you need to do a little work. You need to be very smart with your decisions. And part of this is what I just, share with you. Investing in partnering with educational platform like us or any other ones available. Try to, spot out talent from them and get them on your product. Give them something. They can take anything at that point, and you'll be able to, build your startup to a level that it will be easier for funding. That's the only way I think that we can be able to survive as a continent as far as startup is concerned. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Hi, I'm Cassidy. So I wanted to expound on just a few comments that were made earlier. So when you look at ecosystems, entrepreneur ecosystem within Africa, you notice that there's a lot of highlights in the 4 countries. That's Nigeria, there's South Africa, there's Kenya, and I think anywhere between Egypt and maybe Morocco, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So I really wanted to find out why Nigeria, for instance, like what are you guys doing? I know it's a very it's a common knowledge question, but if you yourself who is building over there, what do you think are the factors that are driving people, like not all, but majority of the resources to such an economy? Yeah. So what do you think are the factors that are playing around there that are not playing out here in Uganda that we can actually maybe emulate or learn 1 or 2 things?
Wow. Put me on the spot. But it's actually a very, very brilliant question. How do I answer it? And I'm very careful. Okay, so let me see. So there's a population factor. We have a larger population as compared to Uganda. That's number 1, right? Number 2 is we are very how will I put it? We're very aggressive. I'm trying to watch my words. We are very aggressive in nature. Not like everybody, but majority, like we're like go-getters. And will I say because of how the government is, I would say not really. I think it's just like a thing. So you are heard of Israelis. You know, they are very they are techies. I don't know if you heard that. They're just very, their tech level is something else. When they learn something, they learn it fast as far as tech is concerned. If you've heard of Lebanese, like 75% of Lebanese, they are entrepreneurs. And as you can see, I'm sure there are some here, they strive anywhere. It's a God-given, is above just what we can comprehend. You know, there are some countries that God has blessed with different things, with different expertise, with different things. Just where we have agric. Maybe in Uganda it's coffee and something. Maybe in Kenya too coffee. Maybe in Nigeria it's cocoa. And the beauty behind this is collaboration. That's one thing that we are missing. We can't do it alone. We all have strengths and weaknesses, right? So maybe some of the things that also help is that we are being aggressive. We are kind of go-getters. Some of us, so it also helps. And we see that in a couple of things. Even in our trainings as well, you see some guys that after like few weeks, they started even building applications and be like, wow, what have you even learned? Because the person has gone further, in skilling himself. He's also thinking about, I think I want to make 6 digits. So this thing pushes us and all that. And those are things that has contributed to some of the success story that we've achieved, So, and there are a lot of other things, but like those two things, the population advantage and also the aggressiveness. So for me, you're wondering why we're in Uganda. I'm sure a lot of people, when you want to do some analysis, you might say that why did you come to Uganda? Uganda is actually like the first place for us, as far as Africa is concerned, to expand to. You'll be wondering why why didn't you go to Kenya first, which they are booming in tech, or South Africa or Egypt, or even Ghana and all that. But I think differently. And like I said, I see Africa as one. Sometimes I follow analysis, I take some things, but I'm like, it will start from somewhere. My story would kind of tweak the projection of things. And that's why I said that we have to work collectively to build the continent, to build Uganda, right? Even though Uganda say, oh, maybe some investors or people like, don't go to Uganda, there's nothing there. But there will be something will happen there. At least something is happening there. There are people there. What you just need is give them that enabling platform. For me, every human being will strive if there is the right enabling platform. That aggressiveness that we have, that every human being has it in some ways. If I tell you today that I'll give you $1 million tomorrow, do this, that, everybody here will do it. That's the aggressiveness. It's just that push. So imagine me coming here or Donald announcing that, look, Conclase Academy that came January, they have an opportunity now. Microsoft is hiring Ugandans. I don't have 50,000 Ugandans. All you guys just need to do is to train for 3 months and all that, and you get a job, and they will pay you $5,000 every month after the training. Do you think anything about aggressiveness will come here that, oh, Nigeria, everybody here will work? And trust me, you see that energy. Those are that's the vision. That's what we're trying to build. That's what opportunity we're trying to get. So for me, it's some of the things amount to what is the government doing? We are tired. It's also kind of affecting our motivation as a continent, also maybe as a country. We are not being pushed because you'll be like, after my work, after the also, I will end up earning 200,000 Uganda cedis that cannot even pay my bills. But when the opportunity comes, trust me, things will change. And I just have this pain about Uganda, and that's why I'm here. You know, I see those few things that you mentioned here and there, but my colleague, they say we die here. I'm ready to give whatever it takes, you know, to be a part of what you guys are doing in Uganda. And I believe that it will work very well, and you guys can compete at the global stage by God's grace. So.
Okay, thank you so much. I love your Pan-African spirit. I also share the same. I'm also an educator. I've done several boot camps.
Oh, nice.
That's great sound. And yeah, anyway, my questions were quite a few, but some of them are covered. I think Saul mentioned the threat of automation and the tech layoffs in Silicon Valley, how it's going to affect.
Oh, sorry, I mentioned that. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe you could touch on that. And then, since you're focusing on remote work placements and engagement to empower and of course protect our labor force that we're developing and skilling, I don't know, there's this growing trend of exploitation of remote workers, and they don't really have like access to certain rights because these companies that are hiring them are abroad. So there are the cases like in Kenya recently, they were protesting on CNN. I think BBC also broke the news and syndicated it. There was a problem of unpaid wages, working overtime and not being paid, general mistreatment, and poor working conditions for the remote workers. So as you're scaling up and hiring or placing more and more remote workers, what do you have in mind? I just want to know what are your efforts towards protecting the labor force you're building, and also because you're probably going to expand in different countries, and the labor laws in different countries are different. So how do you hope to harmonize this? Yes, thank you.
Yeah. That's a big question. Okay, so I would okay, you want to take it? Okay. So that's a big question. So I would I'll answer you from a very honest perspective and what we are doing. So I think one of the key things is as humans, you need to have like conscience, and okay, so talking about the protection and all that, one of the things that I will tell you that we do in Conclase, like I mentioned, aside from the training, we are very big on talent matchmaking, tech recruiting, outsourcing, and all that. And of course, that will be the idea of the academy. So we have a very high retention in terms of talent matchmaking. Why do we have a high retention is this? We see a very big picture of what we are doing. We try to consider human beings, like these guys are working tirelessly, because we're in a fast-paced economy. We tend to work extra. In a way, most organizations abuse the aspect of working 8 hours. They get you to work 16 hours and all that. So we've realized that. So what we do is we pay them very well. We kind of run like a very transparent system that they're even aware of some of the rates that we get. So there are two things involved. There's what they call staff augmentation, and there's full hiring. So full hiring means organizations hiring a resource directly, and organizations contracting the hiring to an agency like us, just to save them from maybe taxes and all that, which is like very common abroad and also in Africa too as well. Like it's largely building, and we are very heavy on that. So what we realize, as compared to other competitors, is they underpay them. And these guys, they hear these things because maybe their colleague is earning, let's say, $2,000. and then they are earning $500. Whereas the organization is paying them, let's say $4,000 or $3,000, automatically the quality of work drops. They are angry, they are not happy, and like you mentioned, Kenya, they are protesting. So these are things that amount to is greed most times from the employer. It's greed, and it's not just in Africa, it also happens abroad. It doesn't mean that you're a white company and you don't shortchange these developers. They don't match what they're supposed to earn to what people are earning abroad. So one of the solutions that we've adopted, for example, in Nigeria, is we kind of run it in a way that we pay them something very affordable, something very lucrative that is competitive. And they see these things, and we've recorded a very high, a very high retention rate. We also even give them health insurance. These are things that majority of companies don't do. You get health insurance if you're a full hire, but we do it as if you're a contract staff. Because for us, at the end of the day, the goal is bigger than just this, right? And trust me, these guys, they build platforms for us for free. So when you have a vision, when you have a bold plan, when you are doing things rightly, when you are being very transparent, and you are considering humans, automatically good things come to you, right? So in Nigeria, we're able to crack that. Globally too, what we're trying to do is most people that get opportunities abroad and outsource it to African developers and all that, they don't, one, it's just change them, but two, they pay them in their local currency. In our own case, we give them the exact currency that we're being paid. Another thing, then that's one. Then secondly, in protecting, most times when foreign organizations give you an opportunity, they protect themselves, because there are a lot of labor laws that they need to follow and all that. So they try to, and that's the opportunity for Africans actually. So they try to get a complaint that they can be able to shield themselves from the paying taxes and outsource it to an African company or a company that has African resources. So they've already protected us. However, most of these companies, like the middlemen, they are the ones that causes this problem in most cases, because when they earn, let's say $10,000 per resource per month, they end up paying these guys maybe $2,000 and all that. So, like I said, in our own case, we give a very fair deal, we take a fair markup. We make it transparent to a certain level where they see these things and they are happy about it. And also what we do is that we ensure that they pay taxes, or we sort out any tax elements in their country of residence.